Hi, I'm Eric Summerer, and here's what's coming from the Dice Tower this week.
Hey folks, welcome to the news for June 10th, 2013. A lot of things going on, but let's start out with some of the most important things. First of all, this week is the week of the Origins Game Fair in Columbus, Ohio. So if you're there, I hope that you come by and say hi. As I said, on Thursday, especially if you meet right outside the exhibition hall at 6 o'clock sharp, if you're there, you're welcome to join us for a Dice Tower listener/watcher dinner. But if you're not able to go, which is probably a lot of you, we are going to be putting things out from the show. I'm going to be tweeting and putting things on Facebook. So if you want to follow our tweets, that's at the Dice Tower. And at Facebook, just look us up under Dice Tower, and you can find us and follow us, and I'll be posting pictures of the new games and things that I see at the show. I also happen to have with me my game, Nothing Personal. Now, you saw me post a video of this last week, and people were confused by that, although I just kind of did that to be silly, but also to show you the components of Nothing Personal. But I think I should clarify a couple things. First of all, Nothing Personal has been published by Game Salute. Steve Avery and I are the designers, and that is essentially all we are in that case. We're the designers, and so if you want this game, please don't email me and ask, I want to get a copy of it, because I don't have, this is the only copy that's even in existence. The rest of them aren't coming to America until August. So you'll have to go through Game Salute to get copies of those, not me. This copy is, though, pretty much final version. I'm very happy. I'll have it with me at Origins, so if you find me there, you have a good chance to play it. And over the weeks to come, I'll show some videos on how to play it and such. I'm trying not to overwhelm the channel talking about my own game, but I'd be kind of foolish at least not to mention it enough to show how much I like it. So there's that. Also, I should mention that when I said the ring in here was better quality than my wedding ring, I did not say it had less meaning. My wedding ring, of course, has tons of meaning. It's just that I bought myself, when we got married, I bought the cheapest wedding ring I possibly could find, because I was very poor back then. Anyhow, I hope the game is a lot of fun. But there's a lot of things going on, so Origins and that, but that does not stop us from posting a lot of videos and things that are already scheduled. All the videos for this week are already scheduled and in the queue. They're uploaded, so just come back this week and watch, and we'll be putting those up. And then next week, we're going to have a lot of video from Origins. And this Friday at Origins, we're going to be videoing the different game companies. We have game companies scheduled all day long. They each have 15 minutes. They can come in and show us whatever they want. We'll be videoing it, and then we'll be posting those as soon as possible next week. My goal is to have as many as I can out on Monday and Tuesday. I'm just going to go through them as quickly as I can. So there's lots of great things to look forward to. Let's get to the news. Summer is here, and there is a lot of news in the works. First of all, I found this one to be very interesting. There's Yorin Island in Japan is having a life-size version of the Game of Life. It's the island was really hit hard during the typhoon, and so they're using the money that people are going around on buses to play this game to rebuild the island. Also, Descent, a new expansion has been announced. Trollfins, which has got some new monsters, plagueworms, and harpies. Oh, hate harpies. Along with some two new characters, 2 new classes, the Stalker and the Prophet. So some cool things coming for Descent. This past week, Donald Vaccarino has been previewing the latest expansion for Dominion, which is called Guilds. He's been showing cards for that. Some of the cards give you coins that you can save for future turns to use them, and that should be released this week. I don't know if I'll see it at Origins or not, but I know that it's coming out this week. Ticket to Ride is out for the Android device. Hanabi, which is one of the Spiel des Jahres nominees, is shipping this week from R&R Games, and I actually have a review of that coming this week, so you'll see that. Kickstarters, several pretty cool Kickstarters have started. There's the Princess of the Dragon Throne. They restarted because the original one was fairly expensive with a lot of plastic pieces. Now they've kind of redone that with wooden pieces and a cheaper price. The Alliances, a trick-taking game. New Amsterdam. And Goblins, which I found this one interesting because Goblins is probably my favorite webcomic. And so hopefully this game lives up to how cool that comic is. And then Kremlin. This has been I think we announced this a year ago, probably, but Jolly Rogers Games is going to be redoing Kremlin. And I don't know how much of it they're going to change. From what it sounds, not much, which is kind of a bummer because I thought some parts of the game could be streamlined. But anyway, it's going to include the expansion and some newer stuff in it, and that's on Kickstarter right now. Lego has announced no more board games. Apparently it wasn't profitable enough for them, which seems odd because I've seen their games everywhere, but hey, they're a huge company, so no more Lego board games. News of the week is my personal news, of course, and that is the fact that I'm so excited that the newest expansion for Cosmic Encounter is coming out, which, by the way, the box for that and Descent are doing fine, thank you. But Cosmic Encounter this is the 4th expansion for it. It's called Cosmic Storm. It's going to add 25 more aliens. It wasn't like we had enough, but hey, we'll always take more aliens. But even more interesting, it's adding space stations, which you'll be able to stick on planets, and then they'll give that planet a specific bonus. Not much more info other than that, but I'm sure Fantasy Flight will release it as time gets closer. Very excited about this expansion. What reviews are coming this week? Well, we'll play a game with this. If you look at the video from last week and see the games that were there, and then see the games that are missing, those are the games that will be reviewed this week. So, and then we have some cool ones coming next week. I'm really looking forward to talking about Augustus, but that's in a week away. Some good videos coming out this week. In the Dice Tower Network, Little Metal Dog number 60 has been released, in which he interviews people from different companies, 3 different companies, so go check us out to see who these mystery guests are. Plaid Hat number 95, they talk about games as art. Is that a possibility? They also argue. Secret Cabal number 43 talks about many things, answers questions, but they spend a good chunk of the episode talking about Castles of Burgundy, which, if you might notice, is on my shelf here behind me. So obviously I think it's a good game, but what do they think? Flip the Table number 30 has Battlestar Galactica. What? Well, that's a pretty good game. They usually do garbage. Oh, I see. It's the 1978 version. Rolling Dice and Taking Names, number 13. They talk about how to plan for a convention. So if you're going to Origins this week, you might want to give that one a listen. Party Gamecast number 11 goes up to Canada, and they review Super Slapshot and Click Clack Lumberjack, which is a renaming of TikTok Woodman. And the Snakecast number 12, they talk about, is it possible to be competitive in a game without being mean to the other players? And then finally, Longview has released a podcast with guest Jim Shaw, and they take a look back at Summoner Wars, all about that game. And I always should mention, of course, the Dice Tower number 309 is coming out tomorrow, and we'll be talking about the size of our collections. You know, I've been talking in videos about how I've been reducing mine, and we'll also be taking a look at Viticulture, Monopoly Tropical Tycoon. Eric's played it. What's his opinion? Tune in tomorrow and find out. Each week I take a look at my shelf and tell you why I'm keeping the games that are there. This week here, we're going to be looking at this shelf. This one here, Columbia Games, this is Slapshot. The reason I hang on to Slapshot is because it's a really silly, fun party game. And I like having those, especially when I can go up to 6 players like this. Battle Line I hang on to because, well, it's one of the best 2-player games of all time. Killer Bunnies. Now this is one that a lot of people will be surprised I keep my collection, but I don't know. I just get a kick out of it. I love all the pop culture. It is what I call my guilty pleasure game. This is one of 2 boxes. This has all the pieces. The other one has all the cards. Forbidden Island, of course, is one of the great cooperative games. Citadels is a fantastic game that I really enjoy it, and it's been in my collection. It's one of the oldest games in my collection. A lot of fun picking rolls. Carcassonne. Now this one I could see leaving at some point in the future, but it has a kind of a push your luck aspect to it. I like that. Chains of Champions. My kids love that because of the Legos involved in it. The Kids of Carcassonne is a fantastic version of Carcassonne for kids, and since I have them. Junta Viva El Presidente is a game which, you know, it's another one of those party games, but, you know, you're the president of an island. I hear that Junta is much more complicated than this. I love how streamlined this is. If Wishes Were Fishes, I might be keeping this one simply because it has purple rubbery worms in it, but the game itself is good. It has a mechanic I like a lot. Race for the Galaxy. That's just a fantastic game. I don't think the expansions were the greatest thing since sliced bread, but they do add some cool cards, and the base game itself was just a really good one. Convoy and Double Agent are two very good two-player games, and I like to keep a good selection of those around to play. This Cosmic Encounter box, this just has all my aliens in it, which I'm not sure I'm going to fit the 25 new ones in. These two boxes have everything from Carcassonne in it. One of them has all the tiles, the other has all the pieces in them. The only thing I couldn't fit in was the catapult, which is stuck right here, and I'm sure a lot of people would argue that the catapult should be thrown away anyway. I think it's fun. Duns on the Run, I like it a lot, and Melody loves it, so that's why we're hanging on to that. So that is why we have this show. A few weeks ago, Sam Z and I did top 10 pieces of advice for game designers. And a couple people took exception with one of the pieces of our advice, which was, to me, don't get into this for the money, I said. And that was something I put into this. That's something I wanted to make clear, because unless you hit a fluke, like or design a game that just really takes off, you're not going to make much money from game designing. Now, I'm not saying, let me clarify, I'm not saying that game designers it cannot happen. There are probably 20 or so game designers who are in it full time. A few of them have put in their chops and worked for a really long time, like Alan Moon and Rainer Knizia and Eric Lang, and they've been designing and it's become something of a full-time job. Others are freelancers and have other things. Some work for a very specific company, and there's several people out there who design / publish, so they're doing multiple tasks, and designing is just one of them. Now, I do not mean to discourage designers, and I certainly do not mean to lower designers. I am a designer. I've designed, as I said, Nothing Personal, another plug for it. But really, when I designed Nothing Personal, did I make some money out of that sale? Well, yeah, I did, but I would have to probably design 4 or 5, maybe 7 or 8 of those before I could even come close to having a menial salary from that game, and that would have to be per year. And I don't want to be someone who is designing games just to get them out there to get money. I want to design a game that's super fun. Now, let's say, and some people on the internet very much strongly said that this was their goal, to be in the design business to make money. And I don't want to discourage anybody from their goal, but I think sometimes these things are organic. Look at my goal. I wanted to do board game reviewing and talking about board games as a full-time job. That was always kind of a back dream for me. I never really thought it was possible, and now it is. Well, at least this year. Next year, who knows? But for 10 years, I worked on reviews and did all this stuff without it being possible. It took 10 years to get to that point, and it still sometimes seems almost like a dream, but it's a ton of work. Great work, but you know, that's how I got there. I just put in long hours around my other jobs, and I suppose a game designer could do the same thing. But while a game designer puts all this effort and puts all this work into things, you're going to have another job probably on the side to bring in that money until you can do it. And even then, I think there's a lot of game designers out there who are making games that just aren't games that people are going to love and enjoy. You might think they're fantastic, but others don't. Now, should a game designer get more money? Again, I speak as a game designer, and I will not divulge the percentage that I got from Nothing Personal, but I do know that I probably went a little higher on the end of getting money for that, and I thought it was very fair in the percentage that I got for that. But I'm pretty sure that the people who have been arguing against this would not think it's fair. You say, why would the publisher get more than the designer? Simply put, the publisher puts in a lot more than the designer. And you can argue and say, without the designer, there would be no game. That's true, but the publisher has hundreds, if not thousands, of designers to go to. And the publisher has to go through all those games, and they have to put their company and their career on the line and say, I want to publish this game, and hopefully it will make me money and not lose me money. Because as any designer who's gotten into Kickstarter has found out, the possibility of losing money is very high. That being said then, the publisher has to take the money that comes from that game and they have to pay for all the costs, they have to do all that out of their own pocket, and then when they get the money, there's a chance that many of these publishers are more than one person, so they have to pay their employees also. So probably, and in some cases, the publisher makes less money than the designer does. Now we can say, oh, it shouldn't be that way. Designers should be rock stars. Board gaming should be all over the world. Well, fine. Maybe that's the way it should be. I don't know. All we can say is, this is the way it is. You can say, well, be the change. Well, folks, what do you think I've been doing for the past 10 years? I've been trying to promote board games. I've been trying to make the hobby bigger, and I think the hobby is bigger, not as a result of me, but as a result of a collective group of us reviewers and websites and Tabletop with Will Wheaton and other things. Board gaming is becoming a resurgence, but it still isn't this big business. It's still not like a game designer is a movie star or a sports star. They're always going to dwarf us no matter how popular board games can be. So what am I trying to do? Am I trying to discourage people from being designers? Of course not. Go out and design games. All I'm saying is you're probably not going to get rich off it. You're probably not even going to make a decent wage at it, and you need to go in knowing that. If you're designing games, your initial thing that you should design a game is because you have this great idea in you and you want to get it out and you want to see people play your games. If I didn't make a cent off Nothing Personal, I think I would be okay. I mean, I'll take any money I get from it, but I would be okay if I saw other people enjoying a game. That is my number one goal with Nothing Personal. Now, with my next game I'm designing, the Giant Robots of Doom and other games that might come in the future, if I do enough of them, maybe there will come a point where money becomes an important part of that equation. But for now, I just want to see other people playing games, and I think that's what most game designers need to start at. You may differ, say so in the comments below, but I'll say this. If you are a wannabe game designer or wannabe publisher and you like to talk about these things and say this is a big deal and this, I strongly encourage you to listen to Board Game University. It's a podcast I started last week. The 3 episodes went up this past Thursday. Another episode will go up this Thursday. Listen to people who are actually in the business. Listen to what they say because they know what's going on. I'm not saying a paradigm can't shift and you might be the person who changes the industry, but at the same time, don't be spouting off something. I see people, they post these long blogs and I'm thinking, you really don't know what goes on in the game business. Learn about the business, get involved, go to conventions, talk to publishers, talk to designers, find out about it, and then you'll be knowledgeable, and then you can affect real change. Well, that's it for this week, folks. I hope to see some of you at Origins. I hope you listen to all our podcasts. Don't forget Board Game University. You can find all the news that we talk about at Game Salute. Or GameBugle.com, and Remy Gibson puts out the news 3 times a week, and you can find all that information, the Dice Tower news. You can listen Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and learn all that you can. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching the Dice Tower.
To find out more about all of our podcasts, check out DicetowerNetwork.com. To see a listing of our videos, head to Dicetower.com. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Cool Stuff Incorporated, where you can buy games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock.
Shut the door.